Hi out there, it's me, Eloise, and today's video is brought to you by the letter N for names. Today I want to share 3 things with you. First is my favorite resource for naming characters. Second is the method I use to selecting a name for my characters. And third, introduce to you some of the characters from my upcoming debut novel, Maiden of Artemis. There are oodles of resources out there for naming characters, babies. They're kind of one and the same, aren't they? The biggest difference is that you know how the characters are going to act and behave when they're adults. And babies, it's a real crapshoot. Baby name websites are one of many resources that writers can use to select the names of their characters. My personal favorite is a website called behindthename.com. And for those of you in need of surnames, there's also behindthesurname.com. There are a number of different features on this website that make it my go-to resource for selecting names for characters. They allow you to search for names based off where they are used. And the lists are thorough and extensive. So if you click into any of these usage lists, it's going to give you all of the names that are used in that region, and you can filter and sort based off of what you want to see. The list view will show you the name, all the locations that it's used in, so a name will appear on different... We have a special guest! This is what you get for interrupting my video! Oh. This is Dawson. I use behind the name for his name as well. In addition to all of the lists that the name will appear on, it will show you the gender that the name is traditionally associated with, along with the meaning. Sometimes the name is a diminutive of another name, and in that case it will say diminutive of other name, and you can click on that other name to drill into that name and see if it's something you like. If you click on any of the names, it's going to take you into a detailed page. On the name page, it's going to give you all of the information that you saw on that summary, as well as a guide to pronounce it. It's going to give you variations of the spelling, and it's going to give you variations of that name across other uses. It's going to give you the popularity of the names across different languages, as well as keywords associated with that name. If you want, you can do it this way, is of just like seeing names that catch your eye, dig into it, etc. But I'm gonna tell you my number 1 secret that I use with this site to find the perfect character name quickly, efficiently. I love them every time. But before I show you my favorite feature of Behind the Name, I want to share with you how I decide character names. Give you some examples using characters from my book, Maiden of Artemis. I'm the kind of person who wants meaning behind the name of the character, whether it has something to do with their role in the story, their destiny, or their personality, or their appearance. It has to be more than just a cool sounding name. It has to have some sort of meaning. The only characters in my novel that this method were not applied to were the gods, Artemis, Athena, etc., the Olympians, because they're already named and they're not technically my original characters, and the main character, Otrera, because I also found her name in the poems that were written back in the day. So I wasn't going to change that. Everyone else in my books have had this method used on selecting their names. The first supporting character that you will meet in Maiden of Artemis is Thea. Thea is the character that I was laziest with naming because Thea means ant in Greek. Then we're introduced to Ariston, or Ariston, a powerful, strong, very capable champion of Nissos, the Prince of Athens. The meaning of that name is the best, which once you read the whole book, you will find very amusing, like I find it very amusing. The third supporting character that we meet in Maiden of Artemis is Pamphilos. Means a friend to all. He is a stable hand at the farm, and childhood friends with Otrera. Another thing that I keep in mind when I'm selecting the names for characters is even if there's a name that fits the meaning of their role really well, like maybe the villain is named something that means super bringer of death. Looking at you, Lord Voldemort. But see, his name that he was born with was not that, because no mother is going to name their child that. You see what I'm saying? So I find the names that have the vibe that I'm going for, and then I think, okay, this character was at one time a baby. If they're a human character, if they're like something else, who cares? You know, do whatever criteria you want to have. If it's a character that is born to parents that are responsible for giving it its name, what is the criteria that they are going to use in selecting their name? Do you get what I'm going with here? Like, we're not going to name our little innocent baby boy Destroyer of Worlds unless we are already villainous destroyers of worlds. You know what I mean? Our next supporting character that we meet is Chloe, whose name is commonly used in English today, but was originally an ancient Greek name. How cool is that? It means green shoot in Greek and refers to the new plant growth of the spring. The name not only is a fun little nod to her interest in plants and as a herbalist, but to her character's growth and journey over the course of the book and the series. I've given you examples of characters whose names are nods to their role in the story, but sometimes I choose names related to their physical description, their profession, or some fun Easter eggs that I just want to tuck in there. Some examples include Xanth. Her name means yellow, blonde, fair-haired. She's one of the more minor supporting characters in this book, and I chose that name because she's blonde. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that serious. On the same vein is Roxanne, the name of the madam who owns the brothel in Piraeus. If you know, you know. And last but not least, my favorite duo in Maiden of Artemis is Lysandra and Demetria, because I'm a big old nerd. Comment an egg down below if you get where that Easter egg is from. Now that I've shared the names of a few of my characters from Maiden of Artemis, I'm going to give you the secret that I use to finding these perfect names in no time flat. Because you might be thinking, Eloise, what are you expecting me to just go sift through all of these names and just look for these meanings? That's going to take forever. Now, some of you might enjoy doing that. I have been known to spend an hour or two scrolling through this website just to see what we get. The other thing that I take into consideration is the sound and the appearance of the names. You'll notice that all of my original characters have names that have different lengths, different letters that start their name. So as you're reading it, you're not going to visually confuse the characters based off of their names. I'm kind of put in a pickle, if you will, when it comes to certain scenes that involve the Greek gods, because unfortunately, the number of them that have A names, Athena, Apollo, Artemis, Ares, Aphrodite. And if you're not familiar with those names, you could get confused. But there's not much I can do for that, so good luck. So, you have a character, maybe you know what their role is in your book, you know their appearance, you know their personality, and you want to find a name that connects to them on a deeper level. What you want to do, on the home page of Behind the Name, there's a search bar. There's a magnifying glass and a gear icon. And what you're going to want to do is click on that gear icon. That gear icon will take you to another page where you can get specific on your search. What I do is I go down to the meaning and keyword section of the search, and I will type in a meaning: strong, brave, blonde, brown, anything like that. And this works great if you're writing, say, a contemporary and it doesn't really matter what region your name is from. So I want to find a name for my character that means bright. With a click of the button, I have 137 different names to choose from that have the meaning bright somehow incorporated into that name. And from there, you can whittle it down. Then I say things a few times. I highly recommend going and looking at the pronunciation guide or putting it into Google Translate and having it say it for you, because then you don't have a situation where you are saying a character name at an author event and you say it wrong and then have a bunch of people on TikTok call you out for it. Not that I would personally know anything about that. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. You're one of my favorite people. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel for more content like this. Most of the time, I don't get interrupted as often as I did in this video. I put out new videos every Friday of my writing and self-publishing journey, and hope that you come along with me. So, writers, what about you? How do you go about selecting names for your characters in your works? And readers, what is your #1 pet peeve when it comes to character names? Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to hear from you. That's all I have for you this week. Until next time, take care. Bye.
Do you like writing? Yes, I like writing. Do you like mythology? Yes, I like mythology. Do you like my videos? Yes, I like your videos. Then what are you waiting for? Subscribe.